Welcome to the Bulletproof Husband, 5 steps to winning your wife back. All right, super excited to have you here. We have an action-packed next 45 minutes, okay? I want to make sure that you're clear that this is really for you. So this is for any man who is married or in a long-term committed relationship, actually facing challenges in his marriage. And regardless whether they're living together or not, but they are truly committed to rebuilding their marriage and actually getting clear on how and what actions they need to take. If this is you, then this training is definitely for you, and I recommend that you stay. In the next 45 minutes, here's what you can expect. How to find out what is stopping you from rebuilding your marriage while being fully confident and clear about it, even if that seems unbelievable to you right now. How to powerfully take control of situations in the marriage without actually having it end in an argument all the time. How to effectively communicate with your wife so you can build a trust back in the relationship and give her the safe place for her to communicate with you freely. How to become a bulletproof husband, knowing the exact steps you need to take to rebuild your marriage with confidence. Now, how to do all of this without constantly feeling emasculated, frustrated, and confused, which I bet you're feeling most of these, if not all. So here's my big, huge promise to you, a step-by-step system to winning your wife back, okay? Now, a couple of house rules before we begin. This is not overnight success, okay? It's not a do nothing and magic happens. And also, it's no BS. Which means that if you're truly not committed to your marriage, I cannot help you. I cannot want your marriage to be successful more than you do. I need to see your commitment. Now, during the training, you're going to hear some of our clients and their success stories. None of these clients are typical. They're extraordinary men who put in the work, they kicked ass, and I'm going to share their success with you. And whether you create these same successes, it's up to you. There's no guarantees, just like there's no guarantees in life. It is up to you if you decide to commit to implement the resources and the tools that you use and how you're going to actually execute on it. Okay, awesome. So I want to check in with you quickly. Does this sound like you? Do you have some days when you feel like you have tried everything to get your marriage back on track, but still just can't seem to figure it out? Do you do everything for her just so you can get some kind of attention, but all you get is disrespect, ignorance, and zero appreciation? Do you feel like that every year that goes by in your marriage, you're drifting further and further apart? Do you dream of the days when you had the intimacy and the fun without always begging for it? Do you see the way your wife responds to other people around you and you wish that you still had this ability to affect her the same way and get those types of reactions? Do you feel like you wake up 2 feet away from the same person, but sometimes it just feels like 2 miles? And most importantly, do you feel like that no matter what you do, your marriage is just headed for divorce? Well, let me tell you something. I got great news for you. This is not the real problem. The real problem is that you have not made the shifts. Now, once you make them, you'll have complete control over how your marriage runs and how to communicate with her. You'll have built back the trust by understanding and solving the barriers that are in your way. This will give you the respect and the affection that you truly deserve and your family deserves. You'll realize that the road to divorce doesn't even exist, and you'll have clarity and confidence faster than you ever thought possible. And you'll do all of this while skyrocketing your self-worth, your manhood as a husband, just like when you were first dating. Now, few seconds just on who I am, okay? Why you should listen to me. I am the founder of the Bulletproof Husband that is in the business of empowering men to have happy and fulfilling marriages. There's 2 reasons why I started the Bulletproof Husband. Number one is to save children's lives. Because when mom and dad are fighting, it's the children who get the short end of the stick. What does that mean? Well, here are the typical stats that children who come from divorced parents are up against. 3 times higher suicide rate. Okay? 60% chance of health problems, emotional, mental, physical. 65 to 70% chance of divorcing themselves in their future relationships. 50% chance of dropping out of high school. These are just some high-level stats that you can get today if you search online. And why does this happen? It's because children cannot blame their parents. Children cannot hate you as parents. So what a child does is they look at themselves and say, what's wrong with me? Why are mom and dad fighting? Why are they divorcing? Why are they separating? Why are they cheating on each other? There must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy. And in that process of self-blame, what happens is they actually create a story to justify it, which then they carry through into their adulthood, which causes them to be emotional and reactional and causes them to take steps that are very harmful and damaging towards themselves. The second reason why we started the Bulletproof Husband is because men don't have a step-by-step manual to achieving a happy and fulfilling marriage. You go to therapists, you go to counseling, you read books online, you go to your pastor, you go to your church, you join this group, you join that group, you work on this forum, you talk to friends, you talk to family. And then what? You discover things about yourself, but you have no idea what to do. How do I know that? Because you're on this training. And I know that. That's why we created the Bulletproof Husband. So we have a step-by-step manual specifically created for men so that they know and understand logically why they need to take the steps in a very specific order and in a very specific way. And that's what you're going to get today. You're going to get the high-level manual, the index of the manual as to what those steps are. Okay? Awesome. So let's get started. Okay, so there are 5 things you need to shift before you can actually win your wife back without causing more damage to your relationship in the process of winning your wife back. Now, I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them in this session. Okay, so let's get rolling. Shift number 1, never compromise yourself as a man. Here's the barrier that you're facing. You are pleasing your wife over being true to yourself, which causes you to compromise yourself as a man. What does that mean? For a relationship to be healthy, it must have a masculine and feminine balance. The masculine must be provided from your end as the husband. The feminine must come from her side. Now I get it. There are alpha females. I totally get it. A lot of men say, oh yeah, but my wife's an alpha female. But it doesn't matter. She's still a woman and her natural side is feminine. So when she comes home at night from work or from, the battlefield, if you will, even though she's in a masculine environment during the day, she should be able to put her masculine mask down and actually feel safe to be feminine. When you compromise yourself as a man, you no longer provide a masculine environment for your wife. And what happens is your wife becomes less feminine. And women being the multitaskers that they are, what also happens is she becomes more masculine because there is lack thereof from your end. And so here's what actually takes place. When you compromise yourself as a man, you are lying to your wife. You are not being yourself. What does that mean? Well, you're nobody in the relationship. There is no relationship because you're not being yourself, and your wife cannot rely on you. And so you drift further and further apart. Now, in the process, you get emasculated. In other words, you've lost your balls in the marriage. That's putting it in layman terms. Now, what's the impact of that? Well, the impact of that is your self-confidence goes down, your self-worth goes down, your manhood goes down, you lose your manhood, and she becomes more masculine. And it's really difficult for you to deal with. It's catch-22. You love her dearly, but then she's being very masculine and you have no idea how to handle that. Okay, so what's the solution? The solution is that you must identify your terms as a man. Terms are what define your masculine identity. Every man or the average man has 2 to 3 terms. At least one, no more than 4, but usually 2 to 3, even if they are not consciously aware of it. Now, terms are your compass in the marriage. They guide your actions once you are consciously aware of them. Terms are the only thing, again, they are the only thing you can control in your marriage. And you must identify your terms, and then you must never compromise them. Now, when a man compromises his terms, again, he is lying to his wife. She no longer can rely on him as a man because he's not being himself. When you are clear on your terms and you do not compromise them, it will bring the masculinity back in the relationship. You will get your balls back in the marriage. And because both the masculine and the feminine must be present in your marriage, in order for the feminine to be at work, you must have that masculine environment. And this will make sure that you bring it back. When you don't, she will take on being masculine and the relationship will start to get destroyed. So identify your terms as a man and never, ever compromise them. You should be willing to give up your marriage to ensure that you do not compromise your terms. Because anytime you do, you will lose your masculinity and you're doing a disservice to the marriage, to the family, and specifically to your wife. Shift number 2, become bullet-free. The barrier is that you are not a rock-solid husband because you have bullets. As men, we have bullets. We walk around with bullets. Bullets are insecurities. Each bullet has certain hurts and emotions associated with them. And as men, we protect these hurts and emotions with anger. And, well, anger is nothing more than a protective mechanism, which really helps us be vulnerable, not to be vulnerable or exposed. It helps us protect our weaknesses. And believe it or not, this goes back thousands of years, because our way of being as a man today is not by coincidence. It goes back to caveman times when men were hunters and women were gatherers. Let me ask you a question. When a man went hunting against the saber-toothed lion or tiger, do you think he had time to consult his emotions? Probably not, right? What would happen if he did? He would have been probably eaten alive. And he had a huge responsibility. He had to bring food back to the village. So what he did is he suppressed his emotions and he used anger to fuel him in the hunt. Now, we're no different today as men. We go into our battlefield, into our jobs, into our purpose, into our community, and we use the same mechanism. But there's one significant difference between the modern man and the hunter. The hunter dealt with the suppressed emotion after the hunt, either by tribal ritual, ceremony, or some sort of a celebration. Modern men do not deal with the suppressed emotion. They leave it suppressed. This is not good. It makes you feminine. And what happens is it forces you to take guidance and counsel from your emotions, which results in you basing your actions on how you feel. And that does not work. Your wife will have to babysit your decisions and your emotions, which does not serve the marriage. There's the bowl and there's the water. The bowl equals masculinity. The water equals femininity. The water is in the bowl. The water changes shapes, dimensions. It splashes against the side of the bowl. It can be calm. It can be wavy. It can take different dimensions and shapes. But the bowl never changes. It's always the same. It's sturdy. It's solid. stays in the same place, does not move, regardless of how the water is. You have to be the bowl. When you take guidance from your emotions, what happens is you become the water as well. And your wife cannot rely on you because it's two waters splashing against each other. No wonder your wife is getting suffocated and she doesn't want to be around you, and you're getting further and further apart. Now, question, if you were to guess, what is the most important thing for any woman in a marriage? Not just for your wife, it's for any woman. Safety and security. Emotional, financial, physical, mental, and spiritual. In fact, it's so important for your wife that she actually evaluates you as the husband as to how well you can provide safety and security in those areas. And the way she does that is by testing your weaknesses. When you pass the test, she feels safe and secure. When you don't pass the test, she feels unsafe and insecure. Now, what are your weaknesses? They're your bullets. Your wife knows your bullets inside out. And she's testing you there. Now, because you have not pulled your bullets, you have not dealt with your insecurities, when she tests you, it causes you to get triggered and actually react. And when she tests you and you get triggered and emotional, it takes you out of control. And how she makes you feel becomes the basis of your action or your reaction. Okay? So what is the work to do here? What is the solution? The solution is to become bullet-free and bulletproof. Okay? Bullet-free means you must pull your bullets so you are no longer encumbered by your emotions. She can say or do whatever she wants. It will not trigger you. Because how the hell can you provide safety and security if you're not safe and secure yourself as a man? And then bulletproof means you know exactly how to take care of future bullets. Because most of you will probably have children. And regardless whether you're together in the marriage or not, you still have to present an example to your children. And your wife is going to test you for the rest of your life. If you don't know how to handle those bullets, you're going to always get triggered and react. And a lot of these bullets have a program running. Some of these bullets are from when you were a kid, a few years old, the relationship you had with your father, with your mother. Maybe you were bullied in school. Maybe you had a bad relationship. Maybe you had a death in the family. Whatever it is, you have some bullets from when you were younger, and you've carried those into your childhood. So they must be taken care of. Now, here's what can happen when bullets are really taken care of. And I want to talk about Devin a little bit, who worked with us as one of our clients. And actually, we still work with Devin. So I don't want to read the whole thing, but I just want to read the last part where he's saying that I love the changes in myself. My emotions aren't controlling me anymore, and I'm off my antidepressants. My confidence and self-esteem are climbing every day. And no matter what happens with my marriage, I know I can be there for my kids, and I won't be an emotional wreck. I am not getting any kickbacks for posting this message. I'm writing this to pay it forward. These men help me immensely, and I hope I can save a marriage or a life with this post. That's one of the reasons we actually posted it, because yeah, he's an awesome man, and he wants to give it paid forward. He's gotten huge value, and yeah, just wanted to share his success story. This is also available, a lot of these success stories on our website. So, you know, if you don't get to read through full, no problem. You can always visit the website. Okay, another quick success story through Dave. My happiness in life and with my marriage has gone up massively over the last 8 weeks. I learned who I was as a man and how to focus on my purpose in life. I wake up every day eager to get going and live my purpose. Instead of reacting to my wife, I create a space for her to be the woman, the wife, and the mother that she wants to be. This is paying off in spades. Every new day is better than the last. As a man, watching this unfold in my life is a priceless experience. Okay. Shift number 3, use the secret weapon. Use the secret weapon. This is going to throw you off a bit. I'm super excited. So here's the barrier. You are managing the relationship for your wife. What does that mean? It means you are not letting her do her job. What did you play with as a child? I'm guessing it was G.I. Joes, toy soldiers. Probably you were competitive, you know, all kinds of trucks bashing and crashing into each other. A lot of competitive stuff and fighting stuff. Well, what did your wife play with? Barbie dolls. Barbie dolls. They went for walks in the park. They took care of each other. They nurtured each other. They had tea in the Barbie house. A woman's skill set is way more sophisticated than yours or mine to know how to manage a relationship. Because your role is to lead the marriage. Her role is to manage it. She's way better at it. Listen, I believe in gender equality 100%. But I also recognize that women are way better than men in some things, and men are better than women in some other things. My personal opinion is that women are above men in everything, except in general physical power. So the average man is stronger physically than the average woman. But the average woman has a higher pain tolerance, more patience, better relationship skills, and just overall, they're way more crafted, better intuition. And so they know better intuitively how to manage the relationship and what it needs. And your role is to lead the marriage. Whenever you're managing the relationship, you're not leading the marriage. It's kind of like a company. When you're a CEO of a company, how can you be the manager of finance, the manager of operations? You don't. You trust them. You allow them to do their job because they're experts at it, way better than you are. But your role is to lead by example, to create the vision. And whenever you're managing and focusing on those types of things, you're not being able to provide the vision and leading. Now, why do you have the urge? Well, the reason why you need to manage the relationship is because you feel out of control. This is how I know that you're actually compromising yourself as a man, because terms are the only thing you can control in the marriage. And when you're controlling by managing the relationship, I know you're not focusing on your terms, which means for sure you're compromising yourself. Now, she has been trying to manage the relationship all along. The average woman thinks of separation, divorce, or cheating at minimum 2 years before they actually pull the trigger or bring it to your attention. And during those 2 years, now if you have a marriage of 15 years plus, it's probably a lot more than 2 years. And during that time, they feel and believe that they have been trying to save the marriage and work on the marriage all along, but it fell on deaf ears. So they have been giving you the signals by trying to manage the relationship, but no, you took it as a personal attack. You didn't listen. And so by the time they bring it to you, they feel they have done everything they needed to, so they no longer want to be able to work on the marriage. That's why we believe that you don't need your wife to rebuild your marriage. We have created the manual in a way where once you create the changes, it will have you be successful in rebuilding your marriage without her involvement. Now, you have been taking care of your wife in one of two ways, either by doing what you think she wants or by doing what she makes you believe she wants. They both have not really worked out for you, have they? And here's why. When you do what you think your wife wants, well, you never know what she thinks, so it's impossible. You will never know what your wife thinks at any given moment. It's not possible. The second doesn't work because women are driven by emotion versus men who are driven by ego. Now, emotion for a woman changes all the time, and it can change fast in a split second. And whenever that happens, their emotions and words change accordingly to represent Sorry, I skipped a slide there. There we go. We're back here. Okay, awesome. So their emotions, when it change, their actions and words change along with the emotion to represent it, which means that it's very easy for a woman to say, I love you, and 2 minutes later, I hate you, and actually make you believe it, because their emotion has changed, and the way they express it with words and actions is also going to change to represent how they feel in any given moment. That's why you can never keep a woman to her word. It's very difficult because their actions and words are based on how they feel, not what they committed to. And so, okay, great. So the question is, well, what you should be doing is what the relationship needs. Okay, how do I do that? You're probably asking. Well, by letting her manage the relationship. Okay, but why? Because she communicates the needs of the relationship, which she has been trying to do all along. But again, you took it as a personal attack because you have been compromising yourself as a man and you got triggered due to your bullets, your insecurities when she tests you, and you get triggered. So you're not hearing what she's telling you the relationship needs. You just take it as a personal attack because you get offended. So what's the solution? The solution is to master the steps to letting her manage the relationship so she can communicate what the marriage needs. Then fulfill the needs in a strong, masculine, and confident way. If you do not fulfill your wife's needs, I guarantee you one of two things will happen. If your wife is loyal, she will divorce you. If she's not loyal, she will cheat on you. Why? Well, because her needs and the needs of the relationship must be met. And if you don't meet it, and it is fully your responsibility, she will go somewhere else to get them met. Guaranteed. So keep that in mind. If you don't start fulfilling your wife's needs, one of these two things will happen. In order to have your wife's needs fulfilled, you must understand and know what the relationship needs, which requires you to have her manage the relationship. But for her to manage the relationship, you need to be bullet-free, bulletproof, and you need to not compromise yourself as a man. So I'm hoping you start to see the logic between how this all builds on top of each other. Okay? Okay, let's do a quick recap. So now at this point, we know that we must identify and not compromise our terms. We must become bullet-free and bulletproof, and we must use this secret weapon, which is to let her manage the relationship. Now let's look at how to rebuild the trust in the marriage while helping her deal with her own bullets. Okay, because women have bullets as well. Shift number 4, master the bulletproof apology. Here's the barrier. You have never ever apologized to your wife in the way that she deserves and needs to be apologized to, which is a way where she gets that you get how much hurt and pain you have cost her. There's 7 steps to preparing for a bulletproof apology, and there are 7 steps to actually doing a bulletproof apology. And what's going to happen is you're going to make some commitments when you do that bulletproof apology. And what's going to happen is she's going to test you. She's going to test you against those commitments. But by this time, you're such a rock solid husband because you have dealt with your bullets. You're not compromising yourself. You're letting her manage the relationship and you're fulfilling her needs that she can do or say whatever she wants as part of her test. You're going to pass. Now, your wife does not care about what you say. That's why the bulletproof apology is created in a very unique way, which will maximize your words. But that alone will not be enough. It's a very critical and important part. What she cares about is what actions you take. And because you have never apologized properly, you cannot rebuild the trust. So once you do apologize the right way, again, she's going to start testing you more than ever because of what you say in the apology. By now, you know your terms, you pulled your bullets, you're letting her manage the relationship, and you're ready for a proper apology without you getting triggered as a result of her testing. So the solution is to learn and always do the bulletproof apology. There are 7 steps to prepare again, and there are 7 steps to actually perform it. Now, once you have done multiple apologies, in order to accelerate trust building, you must show unconditional trust to your wife through your actions. Not your words, through your actions. And trust is difficult and not fair in a marriage towards the men. Because, see, the reason why most men have a difficult challenge trusting their wife unconditionally, because they have it totally upside down. See, you look at trust as a feeling. Oh, my wife cheated on me. Oh, my wife did that. How can I trust her? I don't feel like I can trust her anymore. And most men say, okay, I've been in a marriage for 5, 10 years. It's been awesome. I trusted my wife. We have no problems. No, it's actually BS. What happened is your marriage was never tested fully. So you never needed trust. You don't need trust when your marriage is nice and dandy. You don't. Trust is needed when the marriage is rocky. That's when you have to put it to the test. But that's when you actually stop giving trust because you think it's a feeling, but it's not. Trust is a commitment. It's a choice, which you must give to her unwaveringly and show her through your actions. Okay? And it does not work any other way. Now, here's what happens when you actually do the apology. Okay? Just want to skim through it quickly and go down to the bottom. You can read it. It's going to be on the screen for a bit, but I want to focus here. By following all 7 steps, I come from a place of sincerity that I have not come from with her before. Her trust is not all the way back, and I know it will take time, but I'm excited for the future with her and my family. I am committed to continually doing this work. I know that I will have to and keep myself on track with the help of all of the course, and I appreciate all the help and feedback so far. You guys are the shit. So just to make it clear, Dustin repaired his marriage in 4 weeks. They were not living together. The wife was about to serve him papers, and they were back together after 4 weeks because he did the apology properly. This is the type of power it will have, doing the apology and then passing the test. It's incredible. It's one of our success stories. It's actually the fastest. So understand, Dustin has been doing damage towards his wife for many, many years. So it's not the norm. It's amazing that he was able to rebuild the marriage in just a mere 4 weeks. It is not the norm because years of damage done, very difficult to do that even within 4 to 8 weeks. But he did it in 4 weeks, so it's awesome. And a big tipping point for him was the bulletproof apology and the passing of the test. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about Steph. So Steph is a very unique and different individual. He's been separated for 6 years with his wife. He spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on coaching programs, on marital programs, on therapists, and then he came to us. And his life totally turned around. The wife has not moved back yet. Again, they've been separated for 6 years. There was drug abuse. There was all kinds of things that were happening. So there's a lot of damage and work to be done. But now the wife is no longer dating a man that she's been dating and was looking to introduce to the kids. The wife is on a daily basis interacting with him. They're doing things together with the kids, spending time together. And they went from barely any communication to a very healthy way of raising the children, where the wife is clearly communicating that she is not interested in anybody else. And with her actions, she's committing to working on the relationship. So it's going to take a few more months for Steph to actually, have them move back together, but a huge, huge, huge stride. And this is a man who's been working at it for 6 months. So it's awesome. It's a great, great result. Okay, so shift number 5, investing in mentoring. So listen, Working with someone who's been successful in marriage and knows the ins and outs and has the manual and the step-by-step systems gives you a greater chance to rebuild your relationship. I mean, you know, had you not come to this masterclass, what ideas would you have missed out on? Yeah, there's band-aid solutions, there's short-term fixes, but those are the things that have you fall back into the same trap. I'm sure you've had some success and some improvements in your marriage in the past with your wife, but then you always fall back and it just creates a bigger drench after that. You're in the trenches and she doesn't trust you even more. You need long-term tools, guidance, so that you don't fall back in the same trap as always, okay? You need to make a fundamental shift in your way of being within the marriage. And for that, you need a new foundation. And part of that are the previous shifts that we went over. Now, just think about it. The average cost of divorce in North America is $30,000 to $40,000. Now, men who divorce once have a higher probability of divorcing the second, the third, and the fourth time. And respectively, it's 70, 80, and 90% chance. So if you divorce the second time, or if once, the probability of a second divorce is 70% to 7, well, it's more like 75, and then 80% the third time, and 90% the fourth time. We talked about children who come from divorced parents. Serious stats. You can look them up. The suicide rate, dropout rate, health problems. And you're responsible for that. You might think that it's also your wife, but no, as the leader of your family, you are 100% responsible to make sure your kids are set up for success, regardless if your wife made mistakes in the past. Another interesting stats, this was conducted, an experiment. Scientists have actually done this. A happy marriage, you making your marriage and your family happy, equals to $100,000 of pay raise. The happiness, the fulfillment that comes from creating a solid, stable marriage equals to getting $100,000 of an annual pay raise. This has been actually scientifically proven. You can look into it. It's pretty cool. Now, I want to ask you a question. When you can't lie to yourself in the mirror. It's not possible. When you look in the mirror to yourself, you cannot lie. You can think you're lying, but inside you know you're lying to yourself if you are. You can't truly lie to yourself. So would you want to be that man who caused all that pain and hurt for his family when you look in the mirror? Would you rather be 100% responsible for your own actions and everybody else's actions as a man, regardless of who's at fault, which gives you a choice, and get the guidance and the help which will have you succeed? Or would you remain a victim, point the finger, blame others, and have no choice, which hasn't gotten you too far, has it? So here are some men who actually took a leap of faith and invested into mentoring. I want to talk about Matthew. Here's what Matthew has to say. The Bulletproof Husband has fundamentally changed my life. The tools, systems, and guidance provided was invaluable to rebuilding myself as a man, father, and a husband for my family. With certainty, I can say that nothing like this exists anywhere else on the planet. If you are facing challenges in your marriage, regardless if separated or not, this is a must for you. Then here's what James has to say. James is an awesome guy. He's very religious. He uses religion to, fuel himself as well. Awesome guy, gives back all the time. We gotten really close with James as well. This program and the change it created within a mere 4 weeks has allowed my wife to see a change in me so big that she's willing to give me a chance to reconcile. I know there are times we cannot see that there is any hope. I was there 100%. I was ready to walk away. Couldn't see it ever happening. But this program, it is the only reason that my wife is still here. She was in a massive emotional affair with a man. She was telling him that she was 100% getting a divorce to them wanting to be with me. I cannot thank this program enough. ever enough. And he actually read text messages where she was saying this to the guy that she was having an emotional affair with. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Awesome, awesome to get these kinds of feedback. And yeah, I know these testimonials are long because it's not something that we crafted or created. They're literally copy and pasted from what we got from our clients. So okay, cool. So today I promised you how to find out what is stopping you from rebuilding the marriage while being confident doing it. How to have clarity about your role as a husband, knowing the exact steps you need to take so that you are not lost and confused. And how to effectively communicate with your wife so you build the trust back in the relationship, regardless of the obstacles that stop you from doing it today. How to powerfully take control of those random situations that she brings from left field without having it end in an argument. How to do all of this without being in your head, constantly frustrated and confused. Okay, so here's what you need to win. Number 1, know your terms as a man. Number 2, become bullet-free. Number 3, use the secret weapon. Let her manage the relationship. Number 4, master and implement the bulletproof apology. Number 5, invest in mentoring. These 5 shifts alone are enough to rebuild your marriage and actually accelerate it to new heights. Okay, and now you have a choice. You can either take the information I've given you and you can forget all about it. You can keep on struggling to get your marriage fixed. You can keep on being confused and lost, reducing your confidence. You can keep on researching for other band-aid solutions, which just do not work. You can keep on having those sleepless nights and frustrated days full of distraction because your marriage is falling apart. Or if you want to start getting your wife to trust you, give you the unconditional acceptance you deserve, and you want to have the loving and fulfilling marriage you have been longing for so long, and that's what you really want, then here's what I have for you. TBH VIP membership, a full hands-on training and daily coaching program specifically designed for husbands. Why am I highlighting that? So the Institute of Coaching did a survey that when you combine coaching with training, a few stats have come up. 70% of men experience improved relationship, work performance, and communication skills, also within their relationship. 80% of men report significantly higher self-confidence. 86% of men recoup their investment into the coaching. Okay, now here are our stats. 72% of men rebuild their relationship when working with us. 98% of men rebuild themselves and become masculine, confident, and never again codependent on their wife. 83% of men who work with us got more value within their first month than 2 years of counseling therapy or any other marriage resource. Okay? Now, what will you get by working with the Bulletproof Husband? 18 hours of calls monthly with me and my team every month. That's John and Gary. Okay, we're not a big organization. We don't have hundreds of employees. There's 3 of us. We're very intimately involved with every step you take in the process and journey of rebuilding yourself and your marriage. 16 plus new step-by-step training videos guiding you every month. These are new videos every month that are structured and planted into the 8 bulletproof foundations. 10 plus implementation exercises to push you to take the actions necessary, because you can learn all you want, but if you don't implement and you don't know how to implement, it's not worth anything. So we're very strong on implementation. 3 to 5 times daily guidance, including weekends, in our private community. Okay, and we kick in a bonus. Okay, and that's one-on-one coaching call with me in your second week. This is to make sure that you're on track, you're getting the value that I'm saying you'll get, and to answer any of your questions that come up. This is, of course, in addition to the 18 hours of calls. This is one-on-one call with me specifically. Okay, now
this is all great, but really here's what you really get, right? You're going to get clarity and direction. So the benefit is that you're no longer doubting yourself. Everything is laid out step by step, eliminating your doubts. It's an all-around daily support structure. You don't have to gamble with your marriage anymore, trying to figure it out on your own, right? You only have so many chances, and then it's going to end, right? You can't keep gambling with it. You can't keep playing bingo, stabbing in the dark. 3 committed coaches, myself, John, and Gary, and a tribe of men. Some of these men started yesterday. Some of these men have been with us for a year. They're gonna be there for you with an average response time of less than 30 minutes any day, every day, because this support's also there during the weekend, okay? Now you're probably asking, what's my investment? So you get everything I talked about for $297 per month. Cancel anytime. So you can stay for 1 month if you want, or you can stay as long as you like. We make it very easy to do business with us, and we also make it very easy not to, because we want to make sure that you're only there if you're getting the value that we are saying you're going to get, okay? Now, again, that's 18 hours of calls monthly with me and my team every month. 16 plus new step-by-step training videos guiding you every month. 10 plus implementation exercises, so you're actually taking the actions, not just reading and learning and watching. 3 to 5 times daily guidance, including weekends. The 18 hours of calls and the 3 to 5 times daily guidance, it's questions, answering your questions, creating your action plans, taking all of your doubts away, okay? And then of course, plus that bonus, the one-on-one coaching call with me in your second week to make sure that you're on track to answer all of your questions. So all of this for only $297 per month, cancel anytime. And just to give you a cost comparison, I'll give you a fun fact, okay? A decent counselor therapist is $100 to $250 per hour. Now, this is not the one, covered by your insurance, the $60, $80 one. We know that definitely doesn't work. 83% of men who came to work with us did so after they failed with counseling and therapy and wish that they found TBH first because they felt their money and time was wasted, okay? So here's what to do next, right? You're probably in one of 2 boats. If you're still here watching this, you're probably in one of 2 camps. You're clear, your experience with the Bulletproof Husband has been great, it makes sense, it clicks, there's a structure, you like it, you want to sign up, okay? So in a moment, I will give you a link, or you can click on the orange button beside the screen. Now, the other camp that you might be in is you're skeptical, right? You need a little bit more push. You want to be a little bit more certain. You just need that extra confidence to make sure that this is right for you. Also click on the link, okay? Because when you click on the link that I'm going to give you, you're going to find testimonials. And I'm not talking about your setup, Ferrari in the back, and HD testimonials. No, I'm talking about your everyday men taking their cell phone and doing a genuine testimonial because of the value they've gotten, and they wanted to give back and help men take down their doubts so they can get on this journey as well. These are professionals, these are entrepreneurs, these are manual workers. They're men from all walks of life. And you can see those videos. And I'm talking about 10 plus videos there, or testimonials that you can actually watch, okay? Now, once you're on that page, you want to scroll down. Again, if you watch the testimonials and read, awesome, no problem. But at some point, you want to scroll down and click on the button that says Join Now. When you do that, it's going to take you to our membership creation area, okay? So here, you're going to follow the instructions to create your TBH VIP membership account, which is first, you're going to enter your first and last name, your email, which is going to be your username, then your password. Then you're going to hit Create Account. When you do that, it's going to go to the payment section. It'll say Process Payment via PayPal. Now, we use PayPal for 2 reasons. One, everybody knows PayPal. It's one of the most reliable financial platforms, and it's an intermediary. So we don't need to take your credit card details, none of that stuff. PayPal facilitates all that. The second reason why we use PayPal is because we told you that, or I told you a couple minutes ago, that we make it easy not to do business with us, right? Which means that if you ever want to cancel, you don't even have to talk to us. You just go into your PayPal, you go to your recurring payments, and then you select the recurring payment with the Bulletproof Husband, and you cancel whenever you want. Okay? We treat you as an adult, right? You can make your own decisions, and our context is that you're gonna get so much value that you'd be foolish to leave. And if that's not the case, I wanna ask you to leave, right? So it's very simple, very minimal risk. Now, once you've completed those two sections, right? You've created your membership account, you've created the subscription, you're gonna get a welcome email sent to your inbox. That welcome email is basically saying that you are in, you have started the journey. It's going to tell you when the calls are, it's going to tell you what the modules are, it's going to have a link to my personal Facebook account. You'll want to add me as a friend so I can invite you to our secret group where we guide you and we provide the daily guidance where I post the links for the calls. And it is secret, okay? So if you're frenzy about Facebook, this is totally secret. Nobody can find it. The group is called TBH VIP Membership. It is unsearchable, and only I can add you to it once you befriend me. It'll also have our contact information as well as all the login details and credentials that you've created, okay? So again, click on the link, which is coming up right here. So bulletproofhusband.com/VIP member, or click on the orange button that you see at the bottom or side of the screen, and that will take you to this page as well. bulletproofhusband.com/VIP member, and see you on the other side. Awesome. Take care. Speak soon.